Hello, this is Igoro, host of the Igoro Show, and you are listening to the Steve and Crypto Show. So keep your ears open and your mouth shut.
Hey, welcome to the Steve and Crypto Show, presented by thestevestrout.com. I'm Steve.
I'm Crypto Zoo. This is episode 60, and I'm afraid to tell you we don't have a rhyme this week. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he failed. I was waiting for this, though. I was kind of chomping at the bit all week because I knew he wasn't going to be able to rhyme 60.
It's hard.
I was just waiting for him to be on the spot.
You call yourself an MC. It's hard, man. I mean, if anybody listening out there has a rhyme for episode 60, if there's anything you can think of that rhymes with 60, or any, 60 up to 70, basically, to help us out with the other 9 episodes we got coming up, that would be great.
They won't. I'm not expecting anybody to rhyme 60. If somebody does rhyme 60, I'll be impressed.
I will add, we are recording this one in person, which we usually just do this thing through Zoom, so this is kind of nice.
Yeah, it's literally 99% of what we've recorded has been remotely. So now we're here in front of each other, and it's really awkward.
Yeah.
But it's cool. We got to get used to this because once the world is back on track, we'll probably do this more often. But this is kind of like an experimental episode for you guys, except we don't have a rhyme.
Nothing at all this week.
Fail.
Some of you might be happy for that.
I think most people are. I'm happy for it.
In that case, you're welcome.
Anyways, you guys are happy, and it shows that you guys have been happy because we've been getting a lot of traction on our Buy Me a Coffee and Patreon pages. We just launched a Patreon a couple weeks ago, and we already have a handful of supporters, which we appreciate. It's all going back into the show to upgrade things and apparently to buy gas so we could get together and record in person. That's why we couldn't before. It wasn't COVID. We just couldn't afford it because we're poor.
Yeah, so help us out. Help this show continue and let us be able to record in person. No, we really do thank and appreciate everybody who has contributed so far. And, if you're thinking about doing it, we have some cool things lined up for down the road and perks and whatnot. So,
and of course on Patreon, first of all, patreon.com/SteveCrypto. Head there. We're posting pictures, and we did release our first Patreon exclusive mini episode last week when me and my fiance Ryan talked about some games, which we're gonna do again. She had a blast doing it. She's even more shy than I am, and she is going through our games and taking notes, and she's ready to rock. So you need to start playing some games and get on and talk some games with us because that's fucking where it's at.
I'd love to. Yeah, I have a lot of board games, card games. We love all kinds of games as long as they're not dramatic mind games. That.
Oh, we got some of those. We got some. But, yes, patreon.com/SteveCrypto. And then we also have the Buy Me a Coffee page, buymeacoffee.com/SteveCrypto. Go there, and if you don't want to go to the Patreon and do a subscription-type pledge, you can just go to Buy Me a Coffee and drop a tip or something there. We do appreciate it. But we really don't use it for gas money. We use it to upgrade things on the show. And what else do we do with it? We're trying to advertise in some places to kind of get the word out and extend our reach with the show because we're really passionate about it and we're really having a good time with it. And we feel like you guys are starting to enjoy it too. So hit us up on both of those platforms to help us out and keep the show going.
We also have a Facebook group that you are welcome to be a part of. And, even if you just want to... Yeah, you're encouraged to join us. If you just want to, be a member and check out all the random things that we throw in there, then that's cool. But if you also are, working on something, if you have a project, an album, a book, you're painting, comic, whatever, you're encouraged to share your projects in there. So feel free to, throw in a link or post your new album you just made or whatever it is. And you might be able to get a little bit of a new audience there.
Yes, definitely do that. Content creators, please come get involved, and even just listeners and stuff, just come and interact. We love to interact with you guys. I'm crazy on social media, probably more than I should be. Like at work and stuff, I'll be checking Twitter and Instagram. Don't tell nobody, though. This is our secret. All three of yous listening, this is our little secret. Shh.
Speaking of secrets, Steve, were you talking about trying to get some jars so we could sell farts in a jar on Patreon? Is that what, like, the top tier thing?
Apparently, that former reality show lady was selling farts and being pretty profitable. So
what the hell are we doing with a 9 to 5?
Like, why are we working? Like, we could be supporting this podcast with farts. You know what I mean? Like, we've been talking about farts for a year and a half now, so why not sell some? Like, would anybody be interested?
Yeah. So, we'll throw it out there. Like, let's say, like, $1,000 on the Patreon. That you hit that level.
So we should put a tier, like a Patreon tier, like $1,000 tier. We'll send you
the shittiest level that there is.
We'll send you a monthly fart in a jar.
Yeah.
But we want you
to decorate that jar too, by the way.
We'll send you the jar with prepaid shipping so you can send it back so we can recycle it.
Yeah.
So we don't, we want to help the environment.
And if you choose to hang on to it to save for down the road because you think it might be a collector's item, and it very well could be, then, more power to you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was thinking about it the other day. I posted something about it on one of the social media fucking things. I don't remember which one, but I was like, I'm here working, and this lady's getting like $1,000 per fart. Like, I've been giving farts away for 42 years
whether
now.
People want them or not.
For, my whole life, I've just been giving away farts. And some good ones, too. I put some good ones out in the world. Like, you could, if you see me at, like, Safeway or something, there's a good chance I probably left you a couple on the house. You know what I mean? It's like, check the produce section at Safeway. I probably leave 2 or 3 every time I walk through there.
The crop dusting is real.
Yeah. Just make sure you wash your apples.
I think my boss crop dusted me once.
Your boss got you?
I think so. Long time ago. Yeah. You're not going to say anything, but
I'll call somebody on it.
I think so.
Did you come back here and shit yourself? Like, for real. Like, I'll warn people, but, like, look. We had taco night. Last night was Taco Tuesday, and feeling a little bubbly this morning. So if you're walking around the store here and you smell something, that was you. It wasn't me, but no. But I warn people. But now that I know I can fucking make money, like, I'm just gonna start charging my employees. They'd be like, "Oh, did you smell that? Did you smell that? Yeah, $10." Like, yeah, okay. No freebies anymore.
Right.
No freebies.
Yeah, don't give me that my nose is broken. I know you smelled it. Pay up.
I saw that look on your face. Saw you turning green.
Yeah.
But anyways, I say anyways a lot.
What are you going to say? Speaking of farts in a jar, what do you got to go after that?
Speaking of farts in a jar, I was almost going to... Well, we wanted to bring up some sad things, but I'll wait till...
Yeah.
Not immediately after the farts.
That's not connected to farts in a jar.
We talked about. Well, what did we talk about last week?
Oh, man. Last week was episode 59. We were breaking out some wine.
Wine.
We hope you were as well. That was back when we had rhymes.
Yeah.
I say we. I'm the one that comes up with the rhymes. I'm trying to put it on Steve, too.
Back in the old days.
So last week, episode 59, we caught up with our good friend, Craig E. Sawyer. And he spoke to us about the Kickstarter for Book 2 of The Forbidden Museum. So, I don't remember exactly what episode, but if you look in the archives, you can find the first episode with Craig. We chatted about the
sure
first
his name's in the title.
Yeah, we chatted about the first Forbidden Museum comic. And so in the second one here, he told us a little bit about it. I'm not going to say too much, but it involves the Gill God, quite a bit.
Which is basically based on the creature from Black Lagoon, the Gill Man.
Yeah.
But, of course, you can't straight up use the names and shit because he's just an indie comic creator and obviously don't have the money to buy rights for something like that.
The monster from the deep.
Yeah, the monster. The water guy.
Yeah. The water dude from below. So, we caught up with Craig and he spoke to us about book 2 and then we chatted about a few other things and
we not to interrupt you, but we are doing a giveaway with the Forbidden Museum. We have a copy of issue 1 ready to give away. So if you jump on my Instagram, the Steve Strout, I posted about it, how to enter, and like basically listen to the episode. It tells you how to do it. There's details in there, and there's also details on Instagram. So check it out. Get a copy of the book. It's cool. You guys will dig it. I think people that we kind of catch the vibe that listen to us will be into it. If you like classic monsters. And
the artwork is amazing.
It's
really cool.
And just do it. Check it out. Check out last week's episode 59 and hear about his book. And he has a pre-Kickstarter launch page where you could sign on and get notifications when it actually launches, so you could do that. That's probably a good idea to keep up on that as well. So do it up. That was last week.
Yeah.
We talked about a bunch of other stuff last week. We ended the episode on kind of a sad note when mentioning Betty White passing away. And I kind of want to throw a little mention about a couple. This week we lost a couple other entertainment icons, I guess, to say the least about them. First being Sidney Poitier, he was the first Black Academy Award winner for Best Actor. He passed away this week. He was like one of the great actors of ever. You know what I mean? Like he broke down barriers for, black actors and performers, and just he was a class act. Everything you hear about him was he was an amazing guy, and he was a brilliant performer. Like, go look at some of his old movies. You'll see he's definitely a big loss. And we also lost Bob Saget.
Yeah. We are recording this Monday evening, and I believe Bob's last show was Friday night or Saturday night, and then they found him the next morning unresponsive in his hotel room.
Yep. And
there's no cause of death at this point. It's man, it's kind of hard to know where to begin with this. He's like one of the big voices of our childhood, or at least for people like me that were 90s kids, because a lot of us first saw and heard him on America's Funniest Home Videos, and that was basically YouTube back then. Yeah. That was our YouTube. Like, they just have all this random shit on there that people would send in, and he'd do voices which were usually imitations of his real father and mother. Because if you watch his stand-up, he'd do those same voices, and he would kind of make that clear to you. So he'd have the woman like this talking about, some squirrel skating on the ice rink or whatever. And it kind of sounds like a bad version of Rocky.
I think my first memories was him on Full House as Danny Tanner.
Yeah.
And I remember knowing him as, the dad, this great dad on this show, and then the first time hearing his stand-up was like kind of mind-blowing.
Like, this is the same guy?
Yeah, because he's got his stuff could get a little crude.
Yeah, I remember being in high school, maybe middle school, and a kid had heard that I was into stand-up, and he was like, "Have you checked out Bob Saget's work yet?" I'm like, the Full House guy? Like, yeah. He said, it's nothing like what you would expect. So anybody listening, if you're not familiar with his content, it really is nothing like Danny Tanner. I actually, I have one of his DVDs, and probably 8 to 10 years ago, I took my dad to go see him up at Snoqualmie Casino, and that was pretty fun. he did a few jokes that we had already heard, but most of it was brand new. And I remember we're kind of in the back or middle area or whatever, and he's about to get into this joke, and there's 3 women at the front that you can tell they clearly have been drinking a lot. And so he just stops and just puts the mic down and starts staring down at them. And they didn't even notice for the first few seconds. And then finally they're like, oh, he's not talking. And he's like, yes, hello. He's like, well, no, go on, continue. It's okay. It's not like anyone here paid to see me talk. He's like, just continue, go ahead. And then it just, he's giving us this look like, can I get him, please? And so he starts making this joke about how they're, we're all going to their place for the after party or whatever. And yeah, one of them's got their jaw dropped to the floor, and he's like, acts like he's pulling a zipper down. Wait just a minute, I'll be right there.
Yeah, he was definitely talented. I think the biggest thing, like, he's a super talent. It's tough to lose, but I think the biggest thing is just hearing all the stories and all, like, the outpouring of, like, messages and stuff,
yeah,
and tweets and everything about him, is that he's just, like, a genuinely good dude.
Yeah, that's often how it goes, is like, some of these comedians are very crude on stage, but you hear that off stage they're nothing but, nice, kind people.
Yeah, that's performance.
Yeah, exactly. It's a performance, sometimes it's like a little bit of an alter ego. It's just kind of getting that out there, maybe some things you wouldn't normally say, but you get a chance to deliver it in a comedic way and let that out. So, yeah, I mean, he had been doing comedy for almost 40 years, and so he's a legend in the game, an icon, and is definitely going to be missed. I actually, I was listening to the Adam Ray show. I mean, they played an old clip from when it was called About Last Night. Actually, it might still be called that, but it was back when Adam Ray and Brad Williams were on it. Brad's not on the show anymore. And Adam is a Seattle comic, actually. So the episode that they aired was when Bob came to his apartment in Seattle, and they interviewed him for the podcast. So it's weird listening to it. It's from 8 years ago, but now that he's gone, just hearing certain things that he was talking about were kind of pulling on heartstrings a little bit. He said that his book at the time, which was Dirty Daddy, the book he was promoting, was about death. And it was about, like, a lot of celebrities and comedians that he looked up to passing away and, dealing with that. And then they eventually got into talking about Greg Giraldo, who is another great comedian that is, has been gone for a while now. And
way too soon.
Way too soon. And Bob actually said that he kind of dreaded or feared opening or following Greg because he was such a master of the craft. And that's, you got Bob saying that. Like, that's a big thing.
Giraldo was a killer, man.
Yeah. You got another killer saying that he's, kind of like intimidated to be in the same night lineup as him. So, and then he also just followed it up by saying, like, I miss Greg. I'm sad that he left us, and that kind of pulls your heartstrings again, but Bob and Greg Giraldo and Norm Macdonald are all hanging out together. So
with a million other
yeah,
amazing people that have gone before him.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's always tough. It's like people, we don't know these people, but they kind of played a part and, like, touched our life some way.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing I read from Vinny Paz of Jedi Mind Tricks, he actually posted about him because Jedi Mind is Philly based, and Bob Saget is from Philly. And I guess, this is kind of cool, Bob Saget was a major hip-hop head. Because, the cool thing would maybe be to show up at, like, some big Jay-Z concert or whatever. Right. But apparently Bob went to Jedi Mind Trick concerts. And I guess he was nothing but nice, So it's cool to know that he was even into the hip-hop culture like he was. And
Right.
yeah.
That's cool, man. It's a tough loss.
Yeah.
But we need to move on and talk about movies bombing, kind of like you did with your rhyme at the beginning of the episode. But no, seriously, that 355 movie that they expected to do okay up against Spider-Man just like failed. Just like the Guillermo movie did. It's crazy. Like Spider-Man's like a fucking juggernaut in the box office. Like he's already done over like 1.5 billion worldwide.
Yeah.
And it's pushing 670 million domestically. Like that's crazy. That's with COVID spreading like a motherfucker still.
Why even put a movie out? You know, if you're a director and you're looking at the calendar of when a movie like Spider-Man is coming out, I'd say, you know, it came out the middle of December.
So yeah, Spider-Man's been pretty much kicking everybody's ass in the box office. And I saw an article the other day that like they expect it to dominate until February when Spider-Man star Tom Holland's next movie comes out, when they're doing the Uncharted movie based on the popular video game that I've never played.
I've played a few of them. I definitely have the fourth one, and I think I have like a 3-in-1 set or something like that. I've played the fourth one the most. It's pretty cool. They're kind of like an Indiana Jones video game, you could say. You know, you're fighting people and going through the jungle and solving puzzles and whatnot.
That's cool. But yeah, that's crazy. Like, dude's like owning the first quarter of the year movie-wise. Like, he's going to be the next superstar. Every year it seems like there's somebody different. It's like Robert Downey Jr., then like Chris Pratt, and then next person, and Paul Rudd right now, and I think the next 6 months is going to be Tom Holland.
Yeah. They'll find something else for him to be in after Uncharted, I'm sure.
Good for him.
Yeah. Making money.
They pushed back the Morbius movie.
Again.
To April 1st. It was supposed to be this month, but now it's April 1st.
Do you believe that?
Because the COVID surge. This movie was supposed to be out in like 2020.
Well, I know, but do you believe it's going to come out on April 1st?
Honestly, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't like Jared Leto.
I don't like him either. I'm just more excited for the character to be coming to the big screen.
It's cool, you know, kind of. He's a vampire and like kind of cool shit. But,
yeah, it's nice that they're bringing in a character we have never seen on the big screen, and honestly hasn't been used, you know, a ton, like even in like cartoons. You know, I feel like they constantly try to do more sequels of movies that have worked, or at least bring in the characters that they know work and that are going to sell. You know, they know Iron Man works, Captain America works. You know, if you take it to DC, if there's
nothing works.
Nothing works. I mean, but
it should work, but it don't work.
When you dive into just the Batman universe, they're always going for the Joker. Like, oh, let's throw the Joker in there. You know, like, so for me, as a lifelong Batman fan, I've always wanted them to bring in characters that haven't been used very much. You know, like I love the Joker, but I'm sick of seeing that. Yeah. I want like Clayface or Man Bat. I've probably said it before, but I want to see those characters.
I think we talked about this
not
too long ago.
Yeah.
I think it could work.
So stop using the same people again and again and bring in something different. You know?
I think it could work if they took a few of those smaller characters and put them in one movie.
Yeah.
Speaking of the new Batman, that fucking Riddler.
Yeah.
Looks just I can't. I was starting to get excited for the movie, then I seen their weird like fucking I don't know. I don't even know what to say about it. I'm like speechless, like how the Riddler is not supposed to be this weird, creepy, dark bondage looking like I don't know, what the hell.
Yeah, I've already said, you know, I'm trying to stay open minded when it comes to these characters and whatnot, but it doesn't look like the Riddler whatsoever.
No.
You know, I mean, I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to try it because it's Batman. And it's coming out like a couple weeks before my birthday. So probably be able to go check that out on my birthday or whatever. But yeah, I'm not crazy about the look of them. But I also understand that they want to modernize these characters a little bit. They want to make different versions of them or whatever. You know, they always have. I have friends that, you know, sometimes they're picky about that thing, and they're like, well, Wolverine doesn't have the, you know, the classic suit on. Like, you really think Hugh Jackman is going to wear, like, yellow spandex? You know, I mean, some of us would think it's...
the money's right.
Yeah, I mean, some of us might think it's cool to see them in those outfits, but I guess I kind of expect Hollywood to change them.
Right.
So, I mean, Deadpool, they were right on the money with that, and it was great. but I'm not going to throw a fit because like they changed the costume a little bit or whatever. But this Riddler one is more than a little change.
It's more than a little change.
Yeah,
There's drastic and.
Did you even see a question mark on him or anything?
Yeah, I think
like
there
that?
was one on his chest.
Okay,
I don't know.
Okay,
the whole thing is a question mark to me.
Yeah, and man, Colin Farrell is.
They should just call him instead of the Riddler with a question mark. Just be like, huh?
I mentioned something. Sarah and I were watching the trailer, and I said something about Colin Farrell. Like, wow, they got him, looking different because he doesn't look like himself. Right. And she was like, "Where's Colin Farrell? He's not in this." Like, yes, he is. He's the Penguin. Yeah.
Did they show him in the trailer?
They do. Yeah, I think he's hanging out a window in a car, kind of looking back. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
So it's like one quick shot of him or whatever. But yeah, they got a long schnoz on him to make him look a little different.
Interesting.
We'll see how he plays the role of Oswald Cobblepot.
Yeah, we'll definitely see how that goes.
Yeah.
Book of Boba Fett's been good.
Yeah.
Not to just jump from one topic to another, but
that's kind of what we do here sometimes.
Book of Boba Fett's been good. We're enjoying that. I need to rewatch second episode because I was kind of in and out of consciousness watching it because I'm old and that's what I do. New episode.
I dug
this
it.
Week. Same day they released the Eternals on Disney Plus, which I haven't seen yet. So
neither.
I'm gonna check that out to see where it ties in with the whole MCU stuff.
That's this Wednesday, January 12th. So
and also this week
we get the brand new Peacemaker.
I'm actually looking forward to that. I'm usually, you guys obviously know by now that I don't get excited over the DC live action stuff, but this I'm kind of excited for because honestly I like John Cena, but I also really like James Gunn. Yep. Like he's one of my favorite filmmakers, directors, anything. He's a fucking wild man genius.
I think the key word for this show is going to be fun. Yeah. I think that's what it's going to be. Don't expect anything too deep. I mean, they'll probably have some heartfelt moments, but I think they're just looking.
I think it's just going to be brutal and funny.
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing about Cena is that like he don't take himself too seriously. You know what I mean? Like he's serious about his craft, but he don't take himself seriously. He ain't afraid to like do this goofy ass role.
Yep.
Because remember in the Suicide Squad movie, it was kind of goofy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a character I didn't know anything about, but he came out and it was just funny. He was like badass, but he was just like a dumbass too.
Yeah.
That was cool. That was funny.
Yeah, it worked for him.
And he's a perfect guy to play it.
Yep. I love the character. And same, I didn't even know about him before watching the new Suicide Squad movie, but he was one of the more entertaining characters in the lineup. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the show. It'll be fun. Him and his eagle sidekick.
Yeah, that's...
But so, it's kind of cool. I don't mind when platforms like Netflix give us an entire season at one time. It's okay. And some people like the whole binging aspect. But the way that Disney Plus and HBO Max are doing things by giving us an episode a week, it kind of takes me back to feeling like a kid again, watching TV, where I'm like, okay, I know that this night I'm excited for this show, and that, Wednesday night I get Book of Boba Fett, then the next night, Thursday, I get Peacemaker. It's just like, you don't have a set time to watch like you used to. You have to be home at 5 o'clock or whatever, but knowing
that day,
those days, you get your little treat. Shit, I got to work today, but at least after work, I get to watch Book of Boba.
I've had this conversation so many times. It's like it brings you back to when you were a kid and you had to have your butt in front of the TV in time. Like it's like I watch like Svengoolie or Joe Bob Briggs. Those shows are on when they're on, or you're not going to watch them. Yeah. So it's like an event, and it's like there's a whole community built around it. That honestly, a lot of the people who listen to us are part of that community, and like our show has grown a lot because of a lot of these same fans of these same things. So like. They understand. Yeah, and at least with these streaming shows, you get a chance to go and watch them later. You don't have to, like I just said a minute ago, you don't have to be at home at 5 or 6 to watch it or whatever. Whereas Joe Bob and Svengoolie, as you mentioned, you're SOL if you're not home in time to watch.
So it kind of makes it a little bit more special.
So yeah, since we brought up Svengoolie and Joe Bob, it's probably a good time to talk a little bit about some horror stuff. First, a writer friend, Erick Kapitan, popped in to tell us about his new book that's releasing next week. Check it out. Hey, we are on the Steve and Crypto Show with Erick Kapitan. He's here to tell us about his new book, Night of the Undead Whores, which is releasing in about a week from when this episode airs. So let's jump right in and tell us about the book. Tell us a little background, how it came together. Tell us what it's about.
So, Night of the Undead Whores is the book, and it's kind of like I'm a big fan of exploitation films. So it's kind of like a combination of exploitation and just like, extreme horror. Extreme horror is a genre where it focuses on subject matter that's would be considered taboo or out of the ordinary, I would say, compared to like something that Stephen King would write. So it's about a serial killer who his victims come back to life as zombies. And it's kind of a slow process, but they come back as zombies, and he's basically just trying to figure out, what's going on. And it's a combination of Evil Dead meets Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. It's very gory, very graphic. It's a lot of fun, I'd say. So it's pretty gory, pretty graphic. And if I sums it up, I'd say it's, if you like fucked up horror, then you'll love the Undead Whores.
Good. That sounds about right for what a lot of our listeners will be into. So yeah, it sounds exciting. I'm sure there's like you say, it's really graphic. I'm interested in reading your descriptive writing and stuff. So
did I send you a copy?
No,
I don't think. Yeah, I can definitely. If you want to send me your address, I'll send you a copy.
Definitely would love. Definitely check it out, and we'll talk about it a bit on here.
Cool. Yeah,
we're definitely excited to hear about it. When's it released, and where can people find it?
It's coming out January 17th. That's a Monday. It's on Amazon, exclusively on Amazon. Available in paperback, and if you prefer reading on a tablet or a iPhone, Kindle, you can purchase it on there. I'm actually doing a deal where until January 17th, you can actually pre-order the book, the Kindle version of the book, the digital copy, and you can pre-order it now for 99 cents. After January 17th, the price will go up. So if you want to get a good deal, pre-order it now for 99 cents.
Yeah, do it. You guys will have a few days. Pretty sure this episode would probably about the 12th or 13th. So that gives you 3 or 4 days to get on it and get the deal. Sounds like it's going to be a good one. What are some other books that you've written?
Well, I started out actually writing poetry. But I wrote extreme horror poetry, kind of like graphic horror poetry. A lot of my stuff is really graphic. It's like I probably would have compared myself to maybe like Jack Ketchum, Edward Lee, and maybe like just a little bit of Clive Barker in there. I don't think I'm as great a writer as Clive Barker is for sure, but if I were to compare myself, I would say that I'm similar to that. One of the more popular books that I've written recently, A Love Not Deceased, is about a woman who her boyfriend dies and she can't get over it, so she digs up his body and decides to continue the relationship. So a little bit of necrophilia, love. It's a horror story, but it's also a love story too.
That's funny. That's good. I guess we all need love, right? Even the dead. Even the dead. So Night of the Undead Whores, back to that. The 17th comes out. It's going to be on Amazon. And you also mentioned that you wanted to do a little giveaway of a copy to a follower. So let people know where to follow you on social media.
Sure, yeah. So I'm on Facebook. It would be facebook.com/Erick.Kapitan. I'm on Instagram. It's erick.k.horror. I'm also on TikTok, erick.k.horror as well. Same screen name. Yeah, just follow me on there. Shoot me a message saying that, hey, I heard about your book on the Steve and Crypto Show, and you'll be automatically entered to win a signed copy of the book.
Sounds like a good plan, man.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to drop a link in the episode description too, so you guys could just click on that and go right there and give him a follow. And check out the book. Comes out on the 17th. Amazon exclusively.
Yes.
Will people be able to get one from Amazon and get it signed by you?
If they buy a copy on Amazon, drop me a line. I could definitely arrange, giving a signed copy to somebody that way too.
Cool, man. Well, thank you for taking a few minutes to tell us about the book. Listeners, stay tuned for his awesome commercial for the book, which will be running, which I'm kind of excited about it because it sounds really cool. So let's do this. Let's get people checking out the book. Erick Kapitan, everybody follow him, show him some love, get the book. Let's do this, guys. Thanks for coming by, dude.
Thank you for having me.
In the middle of the woods, in a secluded cabin, lives Aaron, a deranged serial killer on a gore-filled path of destruction. With each new victim, his appetite for blood and carnage increases. There is only one problem, though. His victims don't stay dead. Night of the Undead Whores, an extreme horror novelette by Erick Kapitan. Now available on Amazon.
Hey, this is Ace Vaughn Johnson from LA Guns, and you're listening to the Steve and Crypto Show.
Hey, so we are back. Check out Erick Kapitan's book. Like I said, it's coming out very soon. That ad that he sent us is pretty cool.
Yeah.
We'll have that running over the next month or so. I dig it. Like I said, we're going to talk about some horror stuff now, which, of course, we have to.
Why would we not?
Why would we not? So I've been seeing a few articles about the upcoming, like, most awaited horror films coming out in 2022 since it's the new year. And I made a little list of a few notable ones, and I'll mention them, and I want to hear your thoughts on them.
Yeah.
Quickly in our limited time here. So I was going to do like a top 5, but then I realized I got to like 8, 9, I don't know. But you can't just fucking pick 5 because I just kept finding new ones like, wait, that's coming out this year?
Right.
Is it coming out this year?
And
Oh,
I know
shit.
a bunch of them. I know a handful that are coming out, and I can't even put those in any order of how excited I am.
Yeah. No, I'm not even going to try
Can't
to pick
do
which
that.
one I'm looking most forward to. But of course, this week, next week, some point soon, Scream
Yeah.
is coming out.
I feel like maybe January 25th.
I think the 14th.
Oh,
It's
sooner
like
than
next weekend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the first without Wes Craven involved,
Yeah.
which is interesting, and it's going to be a return of a bunch of the old familiar faces like Nev Campbell and Courtney Cox and former WCW World Champ David Arquette.
That's right.
Nobody should ever introduce David Arquette or mention David Arquette without saying former WCW World Champion.
Why is that not on the poster?
Because if I was, hell yeah, that would
Why
sell
is that
way
not
more
on there?
time.
Yeah.
If I was a world champion, I would not enter a fucking room without somebody announcing former WCW champion.
You think he's just carrying
Dusty
that?
Stroh.
You think he's carrying that belt around on set with him? They're like, Dewey, take
Like,
it off.
No, take it off. Like, leave that shit home.
They're like, what? We can throw
You're
it
not
into
the
the story
champ anymore.
Can't we put it in the story that like Dewey became the champion, in his off time?
He's not the 5-time champion, but
No,
he's a champ.
no, but he's
But
still
yeah,
a champion.
Scream.
He's the 5-time champion in our hearts. But anyway, Scream
Well,
5,
in Scream 5.
Scream 5-time, 5-time,
Yeah.
5-time. We're not going to say it too much.
Anyways, yes, and of course some new faces
yeah,
besides the champ and the ladies.
I'm pretty excited for it. I was watching somebody on YouTube talking about it and just the franchise in general, and they were saying that there were signs in the first movie that like could have led to Sydney being the killer herself. Of course, it ended up being Stu and what's his name? Can't remember the other guy's name, but it would have been a crazy twist, for her to take that direction. But yeah, I'm very excited for it. It's one of my favorite franchises in horror.
See, I dug them, but it's not one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I need to go back there and rewatch them all. I watched them when they came out, and then just
It's crazy watching it again, like, after you've seen it a million times, who the killers are and all that, going back and watching, like, the scene with, like, Jamie Kennedy in the video store, and he's literally being, like, sandwiched in between the two killers, standing there talking to him, and he doesn't know it at the time, and just like, ugh, it's freaky.
so yeah, Scream. I believe it's on January 14th. In February, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I guess it's a remake, directed by David Blue Garcia. I guess it's a retelling of basically the teens traveling through Texas and end up running into a fucked up family that do bad things, and
Is this like with a young Leatherface, or was that in the last film they
I
did?
don't know much about it. But
Okay.
it's like every time I've rebooted it, it's been like the same kind of premise. But
Yeah.
of course it's going to be. But I mean, we're going to get Leatherface again, who is basically an iconic horror figure.
I feel like I watched a Leatherface movie not long ago on Netflix or Prime or something, and it was like a prequel. You know, it was like a younger version of him, and the family's trying to teach him how to use the chainsaw and all that, and he's not crazy about it at first. You can tell the family's kind of trying to push him into doing it. But
I guess we'll see.
yeah,
We'll see.
We'll see where it goes.
I'll watch it.
I'll
watch it.
I'm excited. I know at one point there was talk about them doing a film where he was older, like in his 60s. And so
Like
I'm
an
picturing
old man,
Leatherface in a wheelchair, you know, trying to chase
With a
people
walker,
down.
trying to chase people. Yeah.
He's like trying to chuck his chainsaw at him because he can't catch up to him.
I don't know.
But yeah, I mean it's Leatherface. I'm excited.
Another one coming out this year is Jordan Peele's new horror thriller movie called Nope, which I think is one of the best titles. Nope. There's not really much announced about it. They released a poster. I know Steven Yeun from Walking Dead's in it, which is cool. But with Jordan Peele's track record with horror and thriller type movies, like it's probably going to be good.
Yeah,
Count
yeah.
me in.
I mean, Get Out was great. Something different we'd never seen. I literally tried renting Candyman tonight, but Redbox wouldn't give it to me. So I'll have feedback on that
They
one
were like,
later.
fuck you and your coupon that Steve gave you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
wouldn't
what it was
let
my
me-
fault.
Wouldn't let me use it. So
It was a good movie, dude. Just go buy it.
I'll check that one out eventually. But I'm definitely a fan of his work, and I've probably said it before, but I know that him and his friend Keegan, both of them are big horror movie fans. Right. And it shows, you know, from the Key and Peele days to now. Like, it definitely shows that they're into the craft, they're into the art. Right. So, yeah, I'm going to check it out. I'm hoping it's called Nope, because maybe these people are put in situations where, like, instead of, you know, facing whatever creature
Go in that dark room. Nope.
entity, whatever it is, they're like, nope, I'm going to go out the front door and take off. Years ago, my friend and I were thinking it'd be fun to make a horror movie where it's kind of like that. Like, instead of running upstairs,
really short.
going to check on what's
It's like
going
a
on.
30-second movie. They hear like a voice from upstairs.
Yeah.
And so many people have done that comedy bit, but it'd be funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you hear the monster like, hello. Like, nope.
We thought, you know, we're like, okay, you hear a noise upstairs, and instead of going to investigate, you do what most people would do, or you think rational people would do, and that's get in your car and leave. But in our version, something else happens down the road. So you leave the monster that's upstairs, but you get in a car wreck afterwards or something like that. You know.
That sounds like too much thought. Too much to think about. I'm going to go with Nope. Go with Nope on that one.
Nope.
They're remaking Salem's Lot, which is cool.
Yeah.
Based on the Stephen King story.
That should be fun.
Who don't like a good vampire movie.
Yeah.
Halloween Ends.
Oh, shit. I mean,
That's
of course
what
we're going to
can really
watch.
be said about that. Which
Yeah.
expected to be the final showdown between Laurie and Michael. So
Is it
let's see.
safe to say that Halloween Kills was like the biggest horror movie of last year?
Either that or, I mean, I guess you could almost count Godzilla vs. King Kong.
Sci-fi, yeah.
Sci-fi horror.
Yeah.
But that probably might have been a little bigger. I don't know. I have to look it up. But
Yeah.
it
One
was
up.
just cool seeing all these horror movies do so well.
Yeah, and getting so much attention lately, you know.
sure, for
the
sure.
horror world, you guys know if you're listening to this. I mean, the horror franchise or the horror genre is or has always kind of been like the black sheep of film, you know.
right.
So it's nice to see our little monsters getting some attention.
And a couple other exciting things coming out we'll talk more about in future episodes. But, of course, the Monsters movie, I was on the fence because, you know, Rob Zombie leans more towards gory stuff. But just the cast, the fact that somebody like Daniel Roebuck would jump on and play a role is kind of makes me feel good about it. And then seeing all the the images and stuff he's releasing have been amazing, so that's cool. Evil Dead Rise, I know you're hyped about that.
Oh, of course.
Once we get more details on that, we're definitely going to probably discuss that one.
Yeah, there's not much other than it being like Evil Dead in the city, I believe is what they're trying to do in this one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. And I think it's going to have a female lead again.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be like sisters or something, or two girls.
Yeah.
I don't know. New Hellraiser.
Cool.
New Hellraiser's coming. Terrifier 2. Heard about that from our friend Felissa Rose.
Man, I've been
That's
waiting
exciting.
on that one. Been waiting for Terrifier 2 for
After,
so long now. I know a lot of you guys are too.
You know, the Art the Clowns, he did a particular kill in the first one. That was one of the most craziest kill scenes in recent memory.
Creative.
With the hacksaw and
it's not. We don't even have to say it. You guys know what it is.
You guys know. Y'all know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Then
that poor girl.
Supposedly there's a Predator movie coming, which we talked about before. I think could be called Prey or something.
Another one of my favorite franchises ever. That's like my favorite alien in all of sci-fi. I'd say would be the Predator. Man, I'm stoked for that. The Predators movie that Rodriguez did, Robert Rodriguez, that was pretty good. I thought it was great.
I don't think I've seen it.
I loved it, man. Like they went to the Predators hunting planet. You know, like all these people are getting dropped off there. So people from all over the world. It was pretty cool.
Hey, I'm Lee.
And I'm Brittany.
We're the two crazies from Night of the Horror File,
a horror movie podcast with new episodes every Monday. And today you are listening to
the Steve and Crypto Show. Haha. Was that good? Was I too corny?
Shut up.
Hey, this is Dr. Gangrene. You're watching the Steve. No, you're not. You're listening to the Steve and Crypto Show right here on whatever network you're on. I don't know what you're on. Don't ask me. I can't see what you're doing, but keep listening and tune in next week for more cool content on the Steve and Crypto Show.
There's a ton of other indie movies and all kinds of shit coming out. If we come across it, we'll probably talk about it. And if you guys know anything, like we always tell you, let us know. Any movie we didn't talk about that I might not know about, send me a link, send me something.
Send us a message online, the Steve Strout, CryptoZoo88. Anything that's coming out that you know about that you think is worth talking about on our show.
For sure.
Send it our way.
Yeah, send it our way. Follow us on all the social media. Join the Facebook group. Search for the Steve and Crypto Show on Facebook and find that group. Head over to buymeacoffee.com/SteveCrypto. Head over to patreon.com/SteveCrypto and show us some love over there. And then we're going to wrap up this episode. We're going to work on some little fun stuff for our patrons. So if you're already over there, stay tuned. And we'll have something interesting, hopefully, for you here in the next couple of days. So we thank you guys for listening.
Thank you very much.
We've been the Steve and Crypto Show.
Catch you on episode 61. Don't count on any cool rhymes for the next one either. Peace.